Hello, it's Dolly. I'm so happy to announce that I have joined the Mixed Media Frenzy ladies, Krista, Kathy, Ronnie, Sue, Scrappy Sisters, and Scrappy Kathy. Each Friday, we take a mixed media layout or sketch to Scraplift. And this week, it's My Creative Scrapbook by Marilyn Rivera. And I will have the link to her channel of creating that particular layout listed below. All right, that is a Dolly stencil from my stash. I have a red rubber stamp from my stash, Stays On ink. I have Jane Davenport watercolor paints. I have the Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide ink in fossilized amber. I have my sponge. I have my Vicki Boutin modeling paste. This is a creamier paste. And then I have my multimedia matte gel. And then I have my Liquitex medium modeling paste. And then I have a sheet. Oh, here's some sequins. My paint brushes. And then a few embellishments over there. And then I'm going to stamp I'm going to use that red rubber stamp and stamp that on Daisy White cardstock from Close to My Heart. But now this little sheet here with the 3-hole punch belongs with my Vicki Boutin journal book, mixed media journal book, which is a mixture of watercolor paints and mixed media. Now I'm using the watercolor sheet because I'm not using that much water on my layout or a lot of different types of mixed media. So I'm taking my round sponge dauber and I am just going to keep making circular motions going towards the center of that mixed media paper. All right, before I forget it, I will have all the Mixed Media Frenzy ladies links to their channel listed below so that you can go so that you can go see their take on this layout, how they scrap lifted, what they took from it. All right, so now I have my Dolly and I'm getting scooping up the modeling paste from Vicki Boutin and I'm mixing it with the Liquitex modeling paste that's medium. As you can tell, Vicki Boutin's is really smooth and the medium base of the Liquitex is a lot thicker. They call it a medium. I'd call it heavy, but they call it a medium. Just to let you know, if you're looking for a thicker modeling paste. And then I just take some of the Vicki Boutin modeling paste just straight by itself. And this gives you different layers of texture. Then I set that aside and I'm going to let that dry. And that takes probably about 15 minutes. And so while it's drying, I'm going to take my red rubber stamp of this girl with her laptop on the couch just relaxing. To make sure that I get a nice impression, I'm using my Close to My Heart stamping block and pressing over that. And now I'm getting out my Jane Davenport watercolors. And I guess you want to know the colors that I use. All right, for the chair, I used, it's called Vitamin C. And then for the lady shirt, I'm going to jump ahead of myself because I, edit a lot of this out. It probably took me about 15, 20 minutes, just enough time to allow my modeling paste to dry. So the lady's shirt is in sand color. The lady's pants is in the blueberry paint color. And the hair, I use Cocoa. And for the cat and the laptop, I used Raven. And I may have just like watered it more down to get different textures of color. And I stuck with using, even though you see two paint boxes out there, I stuck with the Jane Davenport that you can pick up from Michael's. It's in the gold tin. And if you get coupons, that's the best way to purchase those. So it doesn't cost you as much, but they're well worth it. Now I do have my favorite. I mean, that's a favorite watercolor, and another favorite watercolor that I just love, 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 which is cream base. Gives a little bit more texture, doesn't like soak into the paper as much as the Jane Davenport, is the Rachel Beth homemade watercolors. And she releases 4 to 6 colors every Friday at her Etsy shop. So it's called Rachel Beth, and it's handmade watercolors. And you never know what she's going to release on Friday, and she'll post that on Instagram. And so that's where you can go find her. All right, so I have been wanting to be on this group, this team, since the beginning, but I was committed to other collaborations and I just couldn't. So some of them ended, and so now I have the time, which I'm so excited because I'm getting back to my roots of doing mixed media. Okay, to secure my fussy cut image from the stamp and that die cut and the butterflies, that's where I use the multi-medium matte gel. And you just spread that on the back of your die cuts or your fussy cutting items. And then you place it on top of your mixed media, and then you put another thin layer over those images. So that's your ephemera images of die cuts. Now it won't work over the chipboard. And then once that dries, which takes maybe 5 minutes, depending on where you live and the humidity and so forth, it leaves a nice, smooth, matte finish. All right, and it's awesome to use this over your like Tim Holtz oxide if you don't want them, anything that's a water base, so that it will not come off if water accidentally gets on your mixed media, whatever you're using. It be your art journal, where most of us use the multi-matte medium gel, or on your scrapbook layouts. All right, now you saw that I added sequins, and then I added a little gold embroidery thread at the base of the chair, and then I got out my Dylusion ink spray in white linen and splattering that all around. And then I'm going to show you the close-ups because this is complete. Isn't this awesome? So from that layout, I took from it the image of the girl in the photograph, and that's why I used the red rubber stamp. I used the stencil to represent the circular underneath the photograph of the original sketch. I used a die cut flower, only one, though they use flowered ones, you know that, but I can't have that much dimension in my art journal book. And then they had a diagonal, look like sequence to me, across. All right, give us a thumbs up. Keep coming back every Friday. Get out your mixed media and play with it. And we will see you next Friday. Have a fabulous day. Bye.